Okaeri nasai. In this lesson, we will learn the te form for e-adjectives, na-adjectives, and the des after nouns. You will recall that we discussed how to combine two or more verbs with the te form in Chapter 6. You might have noticed that I used the expression verbal te form a few times during that lesson. The reason for that is because there is also what might be called an adjectival te form for adjectives, as well as a te form for the des that follows nouns. In this lesson, we will cover these three new te forms. And I promise, these te forms aren't nearly as complex as the verbal te form. By using these te forms, however, you can create sentences in which two or more adjectives or nouns are combined. The te form of e-adjectives is formed by dropping the e from our e-adjective and substituting it with kte. So, the te form of yasashi, for example, would be yasashikute. The only irregularity here is with e, the e-adjective for good. You still drop the e and add kte. The stem, however, changes to yo. Therefore, the te form of the adjective e is yokute. In order to form the te form for both na-adjectives as well as nouns followed by des, we add de to the na-adjective or the noun. Take the na-adjective genki. The te form of genki is formed by adding de to the na-adjective, which gives us genki de. Similarly, for a noun, say nihonjin, we add de to the noun to make its te form, which would give us nihonjin de. Just as we did with verbs, we can use the te form of adjectives and nouns to connect two or more of these elements in a sentence. We might say, for example, that Godzilla is big and strong. Gojira wa ookikute tsuyoi desu. Wait a minute. Godzilla isn't coming now, right? Good. Okay. You can also do this with not adjectives and nouns. We can say, for example, that Professor Yamashita is kind and smart. Yamashita sensei wa shinsetsu de atama ga ii desu. Or we can say that Professor Yamashita is Japanese and about 50 years old. Yamashita sensei wa Nihonjin de 50 歳くらいです. The only other thing you need to know is, ah, Godzilla! Where were we? The only other thing you need to know is that when you use the te form for adjectives and nouns, you can't mix positive and negative expressions. Good stuff goes with good stuff, and bad stuff stays with bad stuff. Just as you wouldn't say, Godzilla is kind and scary in English, you wouldn't say, Gojira wa shinsetsu de kowai in Japanese. By the way, if you wanted to say this, you would say, Gojira wa shinsetsu desu ga kowai desu, which means Godzilla is kind but scary. But you wouldn't say that because I would eat you. In today's lesson, we talked about the te form of adjectives and the des following nouns. For e-adjectives, you drop the e and add kute. For non-adjectives and nouns, you add de. And don't forget, you can't mix the good and the bad. では、さようなら。